In 2026, Dubai is no longer selling luxury. They are selling survival. A city once marketed as the safest paradise in the Middle East is now facing a crisis no one imagined possible. Fire streaks across the Gulf skies, collapsing investor confidence, and billions of dollars fleeing the region have turned Dubai from a symbol of ambition into a warning sign for the modern global economy. The numbers alone are terrifying. More than $63 billion in foreign capital has reportedly left the UAE in just a matter of weeks. Dubai International Airport, once one of the busiest transit hubs on Earth, has seen passenger traffic collapse dramatically. Luxury hotels that once operated at nearly full capacity are suddenly half empty. Malls designed to symbolize endless wealth are now echoing with silence. For years, Dubai sold the world a dream. Endless luxury. Endless growth. Endless security. But in 2026, that illusion is beginning to crack. Under the pressure of geopolitical instability and economic panic. The biggest shock came when rising regional conflict pushed fear directly into the Gulf. Suddenly, the image of Dubai as an untouchable safe haven disappeared overnight. Airlines quietly reduced routes. International investors froze projects. Wealthy elites who once rushed into Dubai real estate began searching for ways out. The tourism industry, one of the pillars of Dubai's economy, started bleeding money at an alarming rate. Hotels that once charged thousands of dollars per night are now struggling to attract guests. Rooftop bars and luxury resorts that once symbolized glamour are operating under fear and uncertainty. And while ordinary tourism collapsed, another industry exploded: evacuation flights. Private charter jets became fully booked, not because people were arriving for vacations, but because wealthy residents and investors were leaving. But the crisis goes deeper than tourism. Dubai built itself as a financial crossroads connecting east and west. The city became famous for gold trading, banking, logistics, and international finance. Yet even these foundations are now showing signs of stress. One of the most shocking developments involves gold itself. Dubai has long been called the City of Gold, controlling a huge portion of the world's gold trade. But now, gold prices inside Dubai are reportedly trading below London market prices as traders rush to exchange precious metals for cash liquidity. Think about that for a moment. Gold is usually the ultimate safe haven during crisis. But when fear becomes extreme, even gold loses its stability because survival becomes more important than long-term wealth preservation. Meanwhile, Dubai's financial district is beginning to feel pressure from international uncertainty. Large corporations are quietly shifting operations elsewhere. Hedge funds and investment firms are reducing exposure to regional risk. Capital that once flooded into Dubai is now flowing toward supposedly safer destinations like Singapore and Switzerland. The illusion of permanent growth is starting to break. But perhaps nowhere is the crisis more visible than in Dubai's massive luxury infrastructure. Dubai Mall. Mall of the Emirates. Artificial islands. Luxury towers. Mega projects built to impress the world. These symbols once represented unstoppable ambition. Today, many are becoming expensive burdens. Visitor traffic inside major malls has reportedly collapsed. Luxury brands remain open, but fewer customers are walking through the doors. Huge air conditioning systems continue running across giant commercial spaces, even as revenue declines sharply. Dubai's economy was designed around constant movement: tourists arriving, investors buying, consumers spending, and businesses expanding. But when movement stops, the entire system begins to shake. Real estate has become another major pressure point. For years, Dubai property prices soared as international buyers rushed into luxury developments. Off-plan investments exploded. Foreign money poured into skyscrapers, villas, and artificial islands. Many believed Dubai real estate could only go up. Now the opposite fear is spreading. Property transactions have slowed dramatically. Sellers are competing against one another to exit projects before prices fall further. Luxury villas once viewed as elite status symbols are entering the market at discounted prices. Even the famous World Islands project has become a symbol of overambition. The artificial islands that once represented humanity's ability to reshape nature are now facing environmental and economic pressure. Some analysts argue these projects perfectly represent Dubai's biggest weakness: enormous dependence on perception rather than sustainability. Because beneath the luxury image lies a difficult reality. Dubai imports most of its food. It relies heavily on desalination plants for water. It depends on global logistics and uninterrupted trade routes. In stable times, this system created incredible prosperity. But during geopolitical instability, dependence becomes vulnerability. The crisis has also exposed growing regional competition. For decades, Dubai dominated as the Middle East's business hub. But Saudi Arabia is now aggressively challenging that position. Riyadh has launched major programs encouraging multinational corporations to relocate regional headquarters into Saudi Arabia. Hundreds of companies are reportedly reconsidering where they base operations. Saudi Arabia's massive development projects, combined with lower operating costs and stronger domestic economic depth, are beginning to threaten Dubai's long-held dominance. This is no longer just an economic slowdown. It is a battle for regional influence. And perhaps the most painful part for Dubai is that the pressure is coming not only from global instability, but also from shifting alliances inside the Gulf itself. For years, Dubai represented the future, a city that appeared capable of overcoming geography, climate, and politics through money and ambition alone. Towering skyscrapers rose from the desert as proof that anything could be built with enough investment. But 2026 is forcing a harsh question onto the world. Can luxury survive without stability? Because no matter how advanced a city becomes, confidence remains its true foundation. And confidence can disappear very quickly. The images now emerging from Dubai tell a completely different story from the advertisements that once defined the city. Silent malls. Half-empty airports. Delayed construction projects. Nervous investors. Rising costs. Falling demand. Even the iconic skyline feels different under uncertainty. Yet despite all this, Dubai will probably not disappear. The city still possesses enormous infrastructure, strategic geography, and global recognition. But the era of limitless expansion may finally be ending. Instead of acting as a futuristic fantasy disconnected from reality, Dubai may now be forced to become something more practical, a normal city facing the same economic and geopolitical limitations as everywhere else. And perhaps that is the deeper lesson hidden beneath this crisis. Modern cities around the world increasingly depend on fragile systems, global supply chains, tourism flows, foreign investment, financial confidence, and political stability. When those systems weaken, even the most glamorous places can suddenly appear vulnerable. Dubai's crisis may therefore be bigger than Dubai itself. It may represent the beginning of a broader global shift where perception alone is no longer enough to sustain economic empires. The dream of infinite growth is colliding with reality. And reality is asking difficult questions. How sustainable are economies built mostly on image and speculation? How long can artificial prosperity survive in an unstable world? And when fear enters the system, what truly holds value? Perhaps the biggest shock of 2026 is not that Dubai is struggling. It is that so many people believed it never could. Dubai once symbolized humanity's ability to conquer nature, geography, and limitation through wealth and engineering. But history repeatedly teaches the same lesson: no empire is immune to instability forever. Glass towers can dominate skylines, but they cannot eliminate geopolitical risk. Artificial islands can reshape coastlines, but they cannot guarantee economic security. Luxury can create the appearance of permanence, but appearances alone are fragile. And now, the city that once sold the future to the world is fighting to protect its present. Maybe Dubai will recover. Maybe it will adapt into something stronger and more sustainable. Or maybe this marks the end of one of the most ambitious economic experiments of the modern era. But one thing is certain. The illusion of invincibility has already been shattered. And once fear enters paradise, it changes everything forever. If you enjoyed this analysis, leave a like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Is Dubai facing a temporary crisis, or are we witnessing the decline of a global luxury empire?